Joe, a wild Tuesday night, which has been the story throughout the Stanley Cup postseason. It's the best postseason potentially in all of sports, and it shows why once again last night.
Yeah, absolutely. There was fireworks out there on the ice. And I know we saw low-scoring games, but those games were so physical out there. We saw those penalties come. We saw some power play goals coming out there. It was absolutely fantastic on the ice last night, you guys.
Joe, we start in Sunrise, where the Panthers were back at home, series clinching potential in game number 5. The odds makers thought it was done. Florida was a minus 205 home ice favorite. Jeremy Swayman and the Bruins, they had other ideas. The Bees stave off elimination without Brad Marchand, winning last night 2-1 on the road to force a Game 6 in Beantown. How did Boston pull this off?
Wow, you look at Boston and how hard they came out there in that first period. They had 15 shots on Bobrovsky in that first period. And this is something that the Boston Bruins haven't been able to do in this series, is come out so strong offensively. We've seen the Florida Panthers defense in all of these other games completely smother them out there on the ice, not allow those shots, giving Bobrovsky a really light workload out there. It didn't happen last night. The Boston Bruins in that first period absolutely dominated on the ice. They held the Florida Panthers to only 4 shots on net. And that was the storyline of this game. They got up in that first period and they were able to hold strong in it. Now, in the second period, we did see both of those teams be able to put the puck in the back of the net. But ultimately, the Boston Bruins then in that third period, when we saw Bobrovsky pulled, this was over 3 minutes that he wasn't in his net. Florida trying desperately to tie it up, and they had a beautiful opportunity with 8 seconds left. And Swayman, phenomenal save from the shot from Sam Reinhart. You look at the defense, what Boston was able to do in that last 3 minutes. They had 6 block shots, only allowing 3 shots by the Florida Panthers in over 3 minutes. It was absolutely phenomenal on the ice last night for the Bruins.
A competitive series now we have with the Bruins. Let's take a look at Edmonton last night. They couldn't afford to take a loss, and we know that late game heroics here usually going against Edmonton in the playoffs, not last night. You had a 2-goal lead here. First period, a Draisaitl power play goal. Second period, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins extended to 2-0. But then you have Vancouver, goals by Garland and Joshua tied up before late. Evan Bouchard gets a goal to tie the series up. Best of 3 now, Joe, between Edmonton and Vancouver.
Oh, fantastic to see this series tied up, because I want this one to go to 7. These are fantastic games out there on the ice. Storyline of this one, the third string goaltenders being able to keep this game under that total, with Edmonton winning it 3-2. It was a fantastic night for both of these goaltenders. We know Silos out here for Vancouver has been phenomenally strong, but Calvin Pickett, this was his first playoff start, and I didn't know how he was going to do last night, if he would crumble under the pressure, but he did phenomenally strong. Now, the defense of Edmonton did stand up. They were able to limit the shots on goal of the Vancouver Canucks and really hold them down in last night's game. Vancouver has to come out with more offensive firepower if they want a chance to beat the Edmonton Oilers, because the Edmonton Oilers defense absolutely stood up knowing they had a third string goaltender in there, but they also gave him the trust and they gave him the faith, allowing some of those shots to go on him. And Calvin Pickett, you got to tip your hat to him for how strong he played in that game last night. It was absolutely phenomenal, you guys. Elias Pettersson at the Vancouver Canucks want to win. They need players like him to step up. He's been so silent in the playoffs. It's just not what Vancouver needs out there. But fantastic series. The power play of Edmonton was able to convert. We saw that conversion early, 1 of 2 on the power play. And we saw Vancouver absolutely not be able to get anything done on that power play. 0-3, the kill of Edmonton coming out nice and strong.
The highs and the lows, the joy and the agony of Stanley Cup playoff hockey in less than 2 minutes last night. Dakota Joshua scores in the final 2 minutes of regulation to tie the game for Vancouver, only for Evan Bouchard to net the game winner in the final minute of regulation. But DRS, did you not want to ask about where the series stands now between the Bruins and the Panthers as we head back to TD Garden for game number 6? I guess I'll do so looking at the series situation. Joe, the story last year, Boston, the best team we have ever seen in the history of an NHL regular season, up 3-1 against Florida in the opening round. The Panthers win 3 straight to storm back. Could the Bees do the same to the Panthers this time around?
They absolutely could. There's an opportunity here, especially with how we saw Boston being able to click last night. But I do think the Florida Panthers find a way to get things done. I look at their defense, and their defense had an off night last night. And if this defense is able to step back up and lock down the Boston Bruins, not give them those opportunities, I still think the Florida Panthers take this. We got to remember Brad Marchand's not on the ice there for the Boston Bruins. And while he might be back in the next game, I do think Florida overall is the stronger team. Now, this one could go all the way to 7, though. I don't think it comes easy anymore. I really did believe in the Florida Panthers closing it out in that last game, but Boston has found a bit of rhythm here. So I'm thinking almost a game 7, Florida Panthers win, and all the way in overtime. This isn't going to be an easy one, you guys.